9 intense days in Israel profoundly alters one's appreciation for the land and its people. Hi, I'm Ray O'Connor, Chair of the Theology Department at Stuart Hall High School in San Francisco. I'm honored to share some of my many experiences, videos, and pictures through this short film. I was privileged to be part of a group of Catholic school educators who traveled to Israel with the Anti-Defamation League to examine anti-Semitism, the Holocaust, and Catholic-Jewish relations. Our cohort of educators formed a close bond early in the trip. We gathered at the New York City ADL offices and met Ken Jacobson, the ADL's Deputy National Director, who addressed the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and drew the conclusion that tensions can only be resolved when both sides recognize the legitimacy of the other's narrative, a claim that persistently challenged me throughout the experience. Auxiliary Bishop Peter Rozoza of New Haven, Connecticut, also addressed our group on Vatican II's interfaith document Nostra Aetate, which identified and condemned age-old Christian discrimination against the Jewish people. Bishop Peter traveled with us and celebrated the Eucharist at the churches of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, the Annunciation in Nazareth, and the Mount of the Beatitudes overlooking the Sea of Galilee. His warmth and kindness impressed us and everyone we met. Besides, what bishop in his 70s would get into a raft and paddle down the Jordan? One other person of note is David Warren, the ADL's Director of Education. His attentiveness provided us with great insight and encouragement and ensured that we met all our scheduled appointments. We met with interfaith educators 4 times during the trip: Christians, Israelis, and Arab Israelis. They lived what Ken Jacobson shared with us prior to the trip, to recognize the legitimacy of the other's narrative. While progress seems painfully slow, the people we met embodied hope. All of them were infectiously enthusiastic and deeply committed to interfaith work. We spoke at length with Ibrahim Abu Shindi, director of the Arab Jewish Community Center in Jaffa outside of Tel Aviv. He shared both the challenges and successes he endured without any hint of cynicism, longing instead for more support and better participation. As we toured the center, we saw children of all ages run about together, caught up in their laughter and games. Dancing older youth filled a multi-purpose room. They formed circles and took turns moving to music. It was a dynamic interfaith effort focused on those who were most open to difference and change: the youth. We encountered similar initiatives all over Israel and felt the fervent hopes in the earnestness of leaders and teachers. This is a mission with an uncertain outcome that must weigh heavily on the hearts and minds of those who dedicate their lives to a truly different future. We moved quickly throughout Israel, from the Dead Sea to the Sea of Galilee, learning about the land and its people, its triumphs and challenges. On the Sea of Galilee, we put out in a boat similar to those used in ancient times. The day was beautiful, but the winds blew strong. In my mind, the Golan Heights evoke images of a land laden with violence that constantly dominated the news. The issue there seems so distant and incomprehensible. But standing on the high places of the Golan Heights, a very different understanding emerged. Overlooking the land that held together Lebanon, Syria, and Israel opened a deeper appreciation for this small corner of the world. In 1973, Israel pushed Syria out of the Golan and soon came to cherish the land, turning it into a thriving agricultural wonder, where large patches of green burst open to feed a people with fine fruits and wines. The military, political, religious, and economic situation of Israel is complicated, and no simple judgments will solve anything. We are left where we began, with the observation that these and other issues will only be resolved when both sides recognize the legitimacy of the other's narrative. No narrative, however, is perfect, especially religious ones. Each is fraught with tragic ironies and exclusionary plot lines. Yet they hold humanity's hopes, dreams, and fears in a tight, expectant embrace. Here's to a promised land, a holy land that Israel and Palestine are meant to be.